So, good afternoon. My question today is, why does this feel familiar? So, we have the world where it is. We have a controlling party being the United States, Europe. You have, interested parties as Japan, South Korea, particular players in Southeast Asia. But you have the new party. Russia, China, India, South Africa, Argentina, the BRICS nations, plus whoever they want to join up with them. Now, it reminds me of when you're in high school and you had a group of kids. They all thought they were cool. They were the cool kids, They were the ones that were popular. They were the ones that seemed like they walked on water. You didn't know why. It just seemed like they got away with it. Maybe it was a personality thing. Maybe it was, I never got that, to be honest with you. But I wasn't one of them. Well, you go your whole life and then you get done and then you go, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. And then you go and do something different. You leave that hometown, you leave that small town, you leave that high school, and you go do your own thing. And then you go back and you look at them, they're still there. They're still doing the same thing. They're still in the same circles, still same town, working at those same popular new joints. One being a weird pizza joint that I was in our hometown. And you realize their world never changed. They're slightly aware of other worlds, but their circles, they're comfortable. They sat there, they stayed. You went into the uncomfortable and you went and did something different. That brings me to the idea that controlling parties will always stay in control of their own world. They continue to have the mindset and mentality that was developed at a young age that, they're correct, they're right, what they say is the popular view, and they stay there. And now things move a little bit. You may have people that are now like, once these people, quote, grow up, and they change a little bit, and then they start inviting other people that were outside their party because they become more humbled, right? But they always live in their world. And that remains. And that's how they view it. Now, if you're on the outside of the world, if you went and chose a different path and find success, you're in your world and you see theirs and they see yours, but they don't know yours. So that's the micro. I always imagine that delegating individuals or managing different people and environments takes you right back to elementary. There's nothing more simple than trying to figure out or start from the basis of managing people or groups than think about recess. Everybody has their own wants and objectives, and then you got to balance all of that, and you see just how it works out literally on recess. You're just a little bit older with different responsibilities, but it's human instinct. Now, that's the micro, like I was explaining. Now, the macro is you have all these countries that want to do something different. Now, the U.S. will always view itself. That's what mainstream media, that's what all these things that we're used to, they will always view themselves as the leading party, or they will always view themselves as the right. We'll just call it that. They're correct. And it gets to a point where you can't fight them. You can't say you're wrong. You can't convince them because, the tables are sloped their way. You can try, but you just won't. So then you got to break off of them, and you got to go your own way. Now the thing is, it takes a long time. It's new muscles. The people that break away and start their own, or do their own searching, or their own management, or their own co-op, we'll say. That's a good word for what I believe is happening on a nation level. It takes a long time, and it's painful. But you get to the point where the prior just doesn't benefit you anymore. It's not. It used to benefit, right? You used to be able to go along, get along, play their game, but now it's just to the point where you either mature or you don't want to play their game anymore. And so you go somewhere else. And they're still going to think their game, it takes so long, right? It takes 10, 20. Sometimes they don't even realize that the world moved on. They don't even realize that their high school class parts moved on and they're playing a different game until they see. And honestly, if it wasn't for social media, they wouldn't know what you were doing in the first place. They wouldn't see your success. You move out of town, you go to a different state, maybe a different country. If you didn't post pictures on your social media, like I know a lot of people out there don't, because they stand on their own and they're on their own grind, they don't know. But they're still running they're still going to the same stupid bar downtown. They're going to the same pizza joint and living in their own little bubble. Until the new order takes hold. Until the realization that, oh wait. And sometimes they'll never know. But the quick learners learn in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and they see that you find success. And they think it takes a while to find that success, but you stick to it and you keep going. That's what I think is happening at the macro level. I think these countries, these states, these bodies, these agencies, they're going to play a different game, and they don't want to play this game now. The legacy system, we'll call it, the prior system, the established system, they'll do all they can to convince you that they're still in control, that this way is the best way. They'll slain, they'll do whatever they can to convince you that they're still a controlling party. But to the other party, it doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter. But the problem is when you go to nation states, sometimes the people in control can throw you into a fight. And that's where we are. That's what people fear. Whether it be, from one side, the crazy Putin story where he's trying to take over. He's trying to take over all of Europe, reunify the USSR, whatever they think, or it's from the Russia-China side where they think the U.S. has violated the agreement to move NATO not an inch closer. They're both going to establish grounds for a fight. The problem is that fight can be chosen by a very, very, very select few individuals. But you can't do anything about it. You waste your breath and your energy thinking that you can stop fate. But it's already written. You just have to see the writing on the walls, and you need to make the best decision for you and yours. And so if that means you have to continue on a different path than what you believe is the current path, you have to do what you have to do. But right now is a time in history where the divergence will meet and will establish, or the divergence will begin and will establish what we see for the next few hundred years. So good luck out there, and I hope you choose wisely.